Okay, we will call the meeting to order. We're meeting in regular session, June 22nd, 2026. All board members are present with Ms. Gordon joining us virtually. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. The agenda is accepted. We're on to comments and concerns. I'm not aware of anyone that has asked to address us this evening, so we'll move to reports. First is the personnel report. It does not require approval, but we do have a resignation from Mr. Elmore. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you for your service. You have served us well in a couple of different capacities, and we appreciate it and wish you well.
Yeah.
Okay, the next report is the orders of the treasurer.
A few things just to point out, like you see on page 2, a few senior purchases. Those, of course, are from their section 6 funds at the school level, but you see the section 6 funds there is on the orders as well, because they're kept in Munis and not in the school activity fund accounting software. Page 3, we had, I think page 3 and 4, there were some of those scholarships that the foundation gives out, but we keep the funds at the district level, the F.P. Wilkinson Scholarship and the Sharon Lewis Scholarship. Those aren't general fund purchases. Those are scholarship funds that are kept by the family and the foundation. We just cut the checks here because we keep those accounts here. Let's see, our annual Google Workspace renewal is on page 3. That's our annual renewal for the entire Google suite. We are in year 2 of a 3-year agreement, and that lowered the yearly price for us. I think Jonathan and I talked about it last week, which he's not here tonight. He's out of town, but I think there are only a handful of districts that aren't Google districts in the state of Kentucky, maybe 30 of the total 171 districts. Page 4, you see an invoice for hands-on therapy. We have been successful in hiring our second speech language pathologist that we were unable to hire last year. So we won't be contracting as much speech language services for hands-on therapy next year. So we do have 2 positions fully filled. The Kentucky Council for Children, you see a charge on page 4 for the Behavior Institute. And I asked Ms. Staples if she would care to talk a little bit about the Behavior Institute. She went this year with a couple of our staff members.
It was in Louisville this year. It's a 2-day conference. It was really great. There was a big emphasis on early childhood this year. So the early childhood regional training centers provided kind of a bulk rate for those attendees. So we were able to take our preschool staff who've never been able to go, previously, because it really hasn't pertained as much to them. So a lot of classes, workshops on classroom management skills, building family engagement, to help with behavior, hands-on activities to do with some of the younger students. And then myself and Ms. Forey also went, and they had some sessions for administrators on things, ways to help all grade levels with behaviors. It's really good.
Thank you. You also see on page 5, exciting big payments to train for our summer work at 2nd Street. Mr. Driscoll, chime in if you want. The 8 units we were replacing at 2nd Street have already been set.
Today they were finished.
Today they were finished. And
Really?
yes,
That was quick.
yeah,
Starting on Frankfurt Hospital.
it's exciting.
We need to put that out there. I've gotten
Yeah.
so many complaints, mostly from staff. This spring about the air at 2nd Street, so. I wish we could just twitch our noses and make that happen, but that's not how the process works, so. Glad to see that finished.
And I do know that Train is also working on a proposal of sorts to continue to work at 2nd Street, much like they did for you all with Frankfurt High, in a phased out 3-phase approach. And the third phase of Frankfurt High work is starting tomorrow, and that will finish Frankfurt High for a little while. At least a long while, we hope.
Ms. Greathouse, I just sent you a video of the new units in the starting through.
Oh, nice.
There.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Driscoll. Let's see. There was on page 5 also a 6th grade book order, and you see a really big Amplify CKLA order. That is our order through the literacy grant to take CKLA, not just K3, but K through 8. We talked about that a little bit when we did the iReady presentation at the last meeting about having that consistency in the knowledge building, science of reading, high quality instructional resource from kindergarten through 8th grade. I think we both, Mr. Elmore and I, would attest a lot of our reading growth to having that resource in K through 3. So having it K8 will be, I feel, will be very beneficial for student growth. Let's see. A lot of produce from the farmers market. If you got a watermelon last week, they were amazing. Included in summer meals and paid for by the food service funds. And I have an update in my superintendent's report on how many meals we have served to this date. It's a rough number, but close enough, right, Ms. White? And then we replaced a bypass actuator at 2nd Street on page 7. We had to try to address some of the air issues we were having at 2nd Street at the end of the year. It helped. It didn't help as much as we were hoping it would help, but hopefully some new units and they want to redo the whole mechanical room as part of that proposal. It's just not organized very well, so. And that's all I have. Unless there are any questions. And Logan's not here, so. If we can't answer them, we'll get an answer.
Are there any comments, questions?
On page 3, there's an Amazon order for, and then it says gym condensation removal.
So in the gym, those little units that are like in the bathrooms and locker rooms and stuff that push air, it's a condensation pump. And it pumps the water out. And we have to order those every now and then, so we've ordered some and we placed one in the boys' bathroom. We have 2 extra ones in case we need to, but there was a puddle of water, that's what that's from, that's what that causes. It's just a little motor that we have to replace. They're obviously a little expensive there.
It's amazing. It's
It's like
amazing.
those Mitsubishi units you get on the walls down.
Yeah.
There.
Can you just get everything from Amazon? Yeah.
We try.
Okay. I mean, that just seems like, I wouldn't think you could get that from Amazon, but
I really think you can get anything from Amazon.
really. And then there's a $689.96 Bond No ID printer software. Software, page 3.
That is the software that we use to print photo IDs for employees. That's, I guess the software runs the program.
So is that an annual expense? Well,
I think so.
and then on page 4, there's a Hewlett printing. Special ed procedural SA.
Say, Ms. Staples, I'm sorry, I was getting ready to take that one for you.
It's for our procedural safeguards, so I actually have a copy right here. We have to hand offer these to parents at every single meeting that we have. And so we get a big, huge box of them just so we have them. The last one was printed in probably 2023. This is the first time we've gotten it, so
How many pages is it? It's not short.
it's not, and it's, yeah, I think 22 pages. It's not large font either.
And on page 4, there's Liberty Telephone, 2nd Street, replace door strike.
So the badge key that on the playground side was not working to get into 2nd Street, Liberty came to change that out. Because allowing people in to do it.
Do we have a contract with them, Mr. Driscoll, or we just call them as needed as?
I just call Liberty because they've done all our stuff and he lives down the road from me.
They're pretty quick.
Yeah,
They're quick to get to.
Jones uses them, and Jones has shopped around before, yes. On some stuff.
Okay, this might be a Mr. Jones question. The page 7 Vivacity Tech, $21,903.
Oh, that's replacement Chromebooks
Okay.
for next year. We usually have a pretty big purchase. It just depends on the grade. He rotates them on grade levels, fifth grade, ninth grade, fifth grade, ninth grade. But he shops around for those.
Okay. I think it's all right.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the orders of the treasurer?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye. The motion carries. The orders are approved. Next is the treasurer's report.
Okay, you get me this month because Mr. Rupert is out of town. So of course, our general fund still, beginning balance for the month was about 2.5 million. With total revenues of 2.9 million, leaving your ending balance at 2.2 million. Building fund, there's not been much movement there. Other than, for the year, we've put he's gone ahead and put in the 1.2 million for nickel taxes. So right now, the ending balance there is $640,381 because we've used some of that for some of our HVAC projects. For the month on the building fund, you see that there have been expenditures, but nothing's been moved over yet. Because we won't do that. You won't see that until June. You did approve an interfund transfer at the last meeting so that we can do those interfund transfers that were a comment on the audit. We talked about doing those twice a year in June and then in December. Food service for the month, about 522,000 to starting balance, received about 576,000 and expended about 84,000 for an ending balance of $492,114. And daycare, right now, beginning balance was 99 and some change, with revenues up to this point of the month at 110,950. And a little over 8,000 in expenditures with an ending balance of 102,387.
I have a question about FEMA. What's the status on our FEMA claims?
I'll have to check with Mr. Rupert. I feel like we potentially were going to withdraw because we weren't gonna get very much because we got insurance money, but I'll check with him when he gets back.
Okay, I didn't think insurance covered all of that at Second Street.
Mm-mm. No, but there's something with, it wasn't gonna cover much at Second Street either, but I'll check on it. Yeah.
I mean, I think I saw on social media today where the city's getting billions for riverbank stabilization after the flood, and so I don't know, who is the contact? Is it a local contact or a state?
It's
Or who-
federal at this point.
But who's administering that? Who's the contact person locally?
We just had to file our initial application with emergency management, and then emergency management forwarded it to FEMA and we've dealt with federal people after that. Is that right, Mr. Driscoll?
Yes,
Yeah, and we've been assigned multiple case managers, I guess. I don't know if that's the right name for them, but
I mean, is there a way to communicate with someone that, I mean, we had a lot of loss at Second Street that wasn't covered by insurance, and I don't know, if we could think about a contact and, unfortunately, we don't have anyone locally that champions the school district, so I think we have to figure out how to advocate for ourselves. Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor, and as by saying aye. Motion carries, the consent agenda is approved. We're now to unfinished business and extra duty stipends.
I tried to put some pretty lengthy notes in the right-handed column for anything that was, changing. So on the first page for board paid stipends, the master teacher stipend, we will be going down one of those due to a retirement. And we haven't added any of those either, so those will only continue to go down as attrition happens.
How many will we have next year?
3. I put a note by FILA director, that was already there from last year, but this is for all required documentation and paperwork surrounding a licensed daycare program. And it requires the director to be on site at all times, so one of the 2 people in FILA will take on that role. And ARC facilitation was already there too, paid from the IDEA grant, but I put a note there. This has been in place for a couple of years. And then, out of the state pre-K grant, Ms. Staples is proposing to add a FILA and pre-K department chairperson, paid from the state pre-K grant, so not from general funds, for facilitation for all ARCs in preschool, which is almost every student. And curriculum oversight in both pre-K and the wraparound daycare so that it is more cohesive and consistent. Let's see. A few grant funded stipends also on this page. One from the literacy grant, literacy assessment and intervention coordinator. This is for administration of the Pele early language screener and the Brigance administration and monitoring, as well as managing the legally required reading intervention plans for students in kindergarten through 4th grade. And of course, all of these will sunset at the end of the grant unless the board decides otherwise. And then there are 2 Spark leads at both schools coming from the Spark grant that will provide support for students and families while strengthening the district's implementation of the goals of career readiness, post-secondary planning, and family engagement. And then 3 Spark stipends that will support students in the completion and monitoring of their individual learning plans, support services, communication with families, outside agencies, assisting students with internship placements, work-based learning opportunities, college readiness activities, and career pathway exploration. Do you want to add anything to those? It's your last board meeting, so.
Now, this was part of that grant. Once we started looking at transition numbers, we did have some students, ECE students or special ed students that were missing out on internships and transition to college. This year, I believe, this Staples, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we have 11 seniors who'll be graduating with IEPs. And so we want to make sure that they have the support, but all the way down to 6th grade. So you're going to see a focus on college career readiness, exploration. Our kits that we purchased with the grant have arrived. They're at 2nd Street waiting. Mr. Hall will be being trained. So you're hopefully going to see a focus for our ECE kids with that. These individuals will be attending meetings with parents after hours, educating them on the opportunities that exist. So it's really, really exciting. I think big things are going to come out of it. And it's kind of compensating those individuals for putting in extra time.
Can you give us an example of what meaningful support would look like?
One of the things, a barrier that we, specifically the high school, we thought was some employers may shy away if I have an ECE student from employing them. So one part of the grant that's actually written into is one individual at the high school will be willing and able and actually kind of required to go visit and provide support at a possible job site. Ms. Staples and I, as we talked about it, so they will be able to go for an hour or 2. So that'll also help maybe fund a sub, but also for the mileage that it takes to get there. So that's one of the barriers that we think we have seen from several employees is the willingness to hire somebody without that level of support. So hopefully that helps. So that's one specific thing.
And I think one thing that I think about just when I see like on senior signing day, when we go through each and every student and this one's going to this college and this one's going to this university and this one's going to the workforce. The question is, what does the workforce mean? like what, I guess, like. If they say they're going to the workforce, what are we doing to ensure that that's happening and that they already have a place they are going before they walk across that stage? I also, I'm kind of in tandem with this, I also, met with Ms. Shade, the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, and they had the Laser Academy with some students from Franklin County this past year, actually Western Hills, not Franklin County, but, and I just emailed her and I was like, what can we do to be a part of this? They had, it was a year-long program for students who aren't going to college that focuses on employability skills and getting them in different types of settings. And I just thought we have students who could benefit from this too. So what can we do to get some seats for our students? So we are working on getting that going too as well. The numeracy count stipend is struck through because that grant is no longer, we've used all those funds, so nothing additional there. If you want me, I'll keep going if you want me to, or if anybody has questions on that page.
It says any stipends beyond the maximum 3 will be considered on a case by case basis by the superintendent. Do you let us know about that as well?
We don't typically have.
I think that would be a good practice.
Maybe put it on the personnel report.
Yeah.
Leave a spot for it.
Why the difference on the Spark, lead stipend? It's just $1,000, but why 4,000 at the high school and 3,000 at Second Street?
The high school will be working with those students, like I said, possibly on a job site. So we'll be doing some traveling. Also that person who's helping Ms. Staples with the, the yo-yo report, right? Where we actually follow up with students a year after they graduate. So that person actually is gonna go through training. I completed it, but I always like to have somebody else trained. So if somebody leaves, you have support there. And the basic focus at the middle school is, and actually Mr. Hall's being trained today, tomorrow and Wednesday, on use of those kids. So really it's use on the kids. It won't be a lot of out of the school visiting job sites, etc. So that's really different.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell us what the previous sources were on each of the farm to school? Like last year or the year before?
For some time, they were grant funded by USDA grants. Last year, they were fully funded by Title I.
Okay, and so all of this year before last was USDA? All these,
Yes. Last year was the first year they were funded by Title I.
and what was the trade-off? Like with Title I, what had those funds been used for prior to being used for the farm to school?
I would have to look, but I can.
Okay. My other question, I didn't do the math, but so is 79,000 the total with some of these extrapolated out, like the
No,
3 so it's not the
correct.
total paid. So we would have the 3 master teachers. And then where did I
And the
see?
3 Spark.
The 3 Spark.
And well, the game managers are extra.
Yeah, they are.
I can put those, I can send you all of them.
Okay,
But it hasn't, none of them have changed except for the master teacher, because it's going down one.
right. It's just good to have the overall number.
I can even separate it out for you, which ones are general fund versus grant funded.
Okay, that'd be good. Those were my questions on the first page.
And since you asked about farm to school, just a note. We lost, I've communicated with you all that we don't get our Title V dollars this year because our census poverty percentage has gone down quite a bit. You have to be in district census poverty data, not our poverty percentage, but census poverty data. You have to be at 21% in the boundaries, and Or you can't fall below 20%. And it's gone down to 17% because of how the community is changing, which also impacts Title I funds. Last year, we went down about 30,000 in Title I, and we're going down about another 30,000 this coming year because of it. So just something to put on the radar for future decision making. If it continues to go down. Now, my understanding is that there are 2 different affordable housing projects in the works in our district boundaries, so. On the next page, those are Frankfurt House academic stipends. No bottom line change here. Mr. Rogers just shuffled some things in the class sponsors. Previously, the class sponsors were 500 starting in 9th grade, 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. We took those down to 750 each. They will all manage the accounts for those grade levels and still manage like senior meetings and things like that. Prom is a pretty big undertaking, and so are all the senior activities. So he wanted to take the class sponsors down and dedicate some of those dollars to a dedicated prom sponsor. That is their only job for that stipend, and a senior activity sponsor. So the dollar amount stays the same. We just distributed it a little differently. You keep going.
Mhm.
Okay.
If there are no questions.
Okay. Second Street academic stipends. We had a very wonderful little drama club this year that went unpaid just because a teacher wanted to do it and kids were interested and they were wonderful. The KYA and Kuna stipend was $1,000. It has sat empty for several years. Because it's just sometimes hard to get people to step up and do those types of things because they take lots of time. So we just took that down to $500 to make room for the drama club because it was well attended and lots of students were interested in it. And it will feed into a program at the middle school and high school levels as well.
There's another one on there that could be that, the 9 grade leads. You know, that
Yeah.
could be.
Oh, yeah, thank you. For Frankfurt High School athletics, no total amount changes for any one sport and no bottom line change. Boys basketball, they had 2 assistants at 3,000. Separated that out into 3 assistants at 2,000 each, same dollar amount. Football, we have a lot of assistant football coaches. Coach Sutton is bringing a lot of people in to help, which is a wonderful thing. So taking those, still the same, I think it's 11,500 is the total, but 4 of them at 2,000, 1 at 1,500, and 2 at 1,000. I'll say this publicly, love his heart. He wants so many assistant coaches on the sideline to help that he was willing to give up part of his head coach stipend. And we were like, no, we're not gonna do that. Because you're working really hard. And then girls soccer, no changes to the total amount, just reshuffling the stipends to 2 girls soccer assistants at 2,000 each. And everything else is staying the same as of right now. And then there were no changes on the Second Street athletic stipends.
Are there any questions or comments on the stipends? Hey, if not, is there a motion to approve the, oh, okay, sorry.
So you have cheerleading 2 seasons, winter head, cheerleading 2 seasons, winter assistant. cheerleading elementary
Mhm.
went ahead. So. There's only one elementary cheerleading coach.
It's only in the winter.
Yeah, they only do the Saturday elementary league games.
Okay.
And then the other one is full middle school football, basketball.
So. You say 2 seasons, but you list winter.
Oh, okay.
What is,
I would say fall and winter.
Mhm.
I would say fall and winter.
okay,
Fall is for middle school is football and girls basketball, and then winter would be boys basketball.
right, that's my one.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the extra duty stipends for 26-27 school year?
Second,
We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
no,
And motion carries. The stipends are approved. In new business, the first item is board policy 3.121, first reading.
These are all four of these, both policies and both procedures are concerning, verification of employment when someone comes to us from another district or leaves us to go to another district, I guess, but, mainly when they come to us. On 03.121, the red language, the human resources coordinator will forward a form to you to send to your previous employers to verify your past work experience. Salary will be calculated only on the work experience that is verified in writing. For experience to be recognized, previous job responsibilities must closely correlate to the job responsibilities contained in the district job description. Once experience has been verified, salary will be calculated on the appropriate grade and experience level on the salary schedule and will be retroactive to the date of hire if the experience verification is received in the same school year of the hire date. It is the employee's responsibility to ensure that all previous work experience has been verified within 30 days of notification of employment.
the only thing I would change would be instead of replace you to send to, replace that phrase with to the new employer, to the new hire, to the employee, or something, you know, since everything else is in third person.
Is it gonna be in all caps and
No,
different font?
no. That's honestly how the policies are formatted when they come to us. by
I know.
ASBA.
I know that.
And when we send them the final approved changes, they fix all the formatting things.
Yeah, that was my only observation on those.
What is, notification? Is it verbal or is it written? Is it?
What constitutes notification of employment? I would say once we start the onboarding process, a contract that's been, I mean, we obviously make a phone call, but we have to do I can call and offer a job to Miss Barnes, but until I put in a requisition to hire Miss Barnes, it's really not official. An actual piece of, not, I won't say paper because it's electronic, but
So is notification of employment the actual proper terminology there?
what do you think, Mr. Kennedy?
Notification of employment,
You have to verify your work experience within 30 days of notification of employment. So my question is, what is notification of employment?
yeah, I would say after Dr. Sadly approves the hire, I contact them and say, okay, here's all our next steps, so. I would classify that as notification, but maybe could say something different.
Like offer of employment or,
I don't.
Offer is different than if.
Yeah, I don't love offer just because the offer comes from somebody potentially that's not
right,
in human resources.
It's not employment.
It might be a notification of employment from the HR director.
Maybe
Because
that
once
would-
I,
that would be more clear to me.
yeah,
because once I approve I approve every single requisition to hire. So once I approve it, that's when the ball starts rolling in Mr. Kennedy's office.
We could even change it to say start date, 30 days from your start date, if. Right. But that is a set date versus,
July 1, right?
or their.
But that's not.
Or whenever they're hired, right?
Start date is not notification of employment. Hopefully you will get a notification
Before, yeah.
sometime before your start date.
Where could you change it to notification from the district human resources director of employment?
Sounds good.
I'd be more comfortable with that. I just don't know what notification of employment is. And I don't want to fight that out.
Yeah.
When we actually have litigation or something, because we weren't specific enough. So you got that.
Yep, I got it.
Thank you. There is a extra S on the AP 242. Private independent schools
Oh.
district.
Yeah.
And that next one is just, is that one next on the agenda? I'm sorry. Yes, that next one is just the procedure that goes with that policy. Yeah, I got that already. That has at the bottom, the same note that it is the employee's responsibility to ensure that all previous work experience has been verified within 30 days of notification of agent of employment from new language. And then, let me keep going. You sure?
Mhm.
03.221 is the classified version of the same policy. So we just added the same language and we'll add that same from the HR. And none of these are approved tonight, so. And then the exact same language in the classified salaries policy there. One of them is a procedure and one of them is a policy. But we also, if you remember, we also approved a while back a 15-day contractual agreement for people that are leaving our district. That if they don't take care of this if they resign within 15 days of the start of, is it school or their start date? It's school. It's their first contract day. If they leave within, then we won't verify their experience and they will have to start on a different step in their new district, so. And unfortunately, we can't take people at their word that they have, other districts require verification and we require verification too.
Is there a reason why the wording is different on the classified personnel document?
It shouldn't be.
Just forward the form to previous employers to verify.
We'll fix that.
If there's nothing else, then, let the record reflect that this is first reading of policy 3.121 and policy 3.221. Those will be on the agenda next meeting for second reading. And we are now to superintendent's comments.
You have my report in front of you. So summer feeding, slide's not amazing, okay. Up to this point, these are some adorable pictures from the King Center because not only do we distribute meals on Tuesday afternoons, but we also feed at other sites as well. So far, Miss White's rough numbers are on Tuesdays, we have distributed 23,814 meals-ish. And at other sites, 4,217-ish for a total of 28,031 meals-ish.
And how many days?
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Right.
right?
2 weeks, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's drinking chocolate milk, I think. But those strawberries were delicious. And the pictures were adorable of them devouring their strawberries. A hiring update. This is very exciting. I think. So right now, as far as vacancies are concerned, if you look on our website, we have substitute positions posted. There are 4 of those, I think: substitute teacher, substitute bus driver, substitute cook, baker, and custodian. So those stay posted throughout the school year. And then we have 1 coaching position posted right now: assistant Frankfurt High School girls soccer coach. We hired a bowling coach this week. 1 childcare instructor for the wraparound for FILA that will be hired by tomorrow. So some of these are vacancies, but there is already a plan for these vacancies. Certified teaching vacancies, we have 2 vacancies right now: a high school math and a 5th grade math, math is hard to hire in general, but 5th grade math, it will be filled. And then, of course, Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, Mr. Elmore, we will miss you heavily. So, like, it's June 22nd and we have 2 certified vacancies. We are fully staffed bus drivers. Mr. Driscoll's department is fully staffed with bus drivers, custodians, and maintenance. And Miss White is fully staffed in nutrition services. So, there seems to be a little misconception out there about what our vacancies look like. So wanted to put this in front of the board. And a couple of those 2 positions will be filled this week. I also want to say publicly that you all know how I feel about ensuring and trying to make our faculty and staff representative of our student population. Of the hires we've made so far, 45% of them are not white. So I think that is an amazing statistic for us to have. Oh, I have one, sorry. We do have a registration event this week at 2nd Street for those who want to have assistance with online registration from 10 to 2 on Wednesday, June 24th. And then some other things, a Healthy Kids Clinic. Of course, we all know how many wonderful things they do for us. By the way, they're adding optometry next year, which is awesome. The Healthy Kids Clinic was able to perform sports physicals for 61 of our athletes on June 8th. So those are physicals that Ms. Dungan and coaches will not have to be tracking down to ensure that those athletes are able to participate. We have unit internalization update. We have some time built in this summer for this work to continue standards alignment, vertical conversations, and vetting of assessments and unit plans. And then looking ahead, our annual new employee orientation and onboarding is July 23rd. We will be having an annual leadership retreat in mid-July, trying to nail down those dates. We have people who have things planned, obviously, so trying to make it the date that's best for the most people to be there. We are working on a date for a meet and greet for the new principal at 2nd Street. Opening day is July 31st. We've had a lot of questions about the start date, so we'll be putting something out about that with the change. Kindergarten will start on Monday, August 3rd, and 1st through 12th grades will start Tuesday, August 4th.
Okay.
And Miss Barnes brought this with her today. I haven't seen my copy yet, but is it monthly? It's monthly. Monthly that school board members and superintendents get a magazine called the Kentucky School Advocate, Miss Gordon. And every month there is a feature called Beyond the Board, where they interview a sitting board member in the state of Kentucky, which, if you think about 171 school districts with at least 5 board members, that's a lot of board members. So it's not common that one of yours gets chosen, but this month Miss Gordon was chosen and has her own little feature in the Kentucky School Advocate.
Awesome photo.
It's a great picture. Great picture.
Hey, is that all?
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you. That concludes our public business this evening, and I will entertain a motion to move into closed session pursuant to KRS 61-810-1F for discussions or hearings that might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee, member, or student without restricting that employee's, members, or students' right to a public hearing if requested. This exception shall not be interpreted to permit discussion of general personnel matters in secret.
So moved.
We have a motion and second, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
No.
Aye.
Motion carries and we'll